Hey, sis. Welcome to Now Woman Rising, the podcast for purpose driven, faith filled, family shifting, legacy making women who is done playing small. I'm Alicia Hurt, servant leader, wife, mama, and your holistic wellness home girl. Here to walk with you as you rise, heal, break cycles, and shine unapologetically in your God-given purpose. Whether you're trailblazing in your business, praying over your babies, or just trying to drink your water and mind your business, we see you, sis. Here's the truth. You are not alone. This space is sacred and safe. So grab your tea, light your candle, and let's get into this soul talk. Let's rise, let's glow, let's go. Hello, everyone. It's Alicia Hurt and
Sakia Adams.
And we are tag teaming today on Now Women Rising. How y'all doing? So we have another phenomenal, dynamic woman. Her name is Dani. Hi, Dani.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. So are you ready to dive right in?
Let's do it.
So I always start by saying, what brought you to this journey? Like, how did this all happen?
Yeah. So I'm Dani Margeaux. I'm an empowerment coach helping women really find out the truth of who they are without the conditioning and things that we've been told since we were kids. And so I was always searching. I always felt different from my family, from my friends, and I always felt like I was searching for something more. And what I realized what that was it was a sense of fulfillment that I couldn't receive from daily life of what I was doing, my normal job, normal school. And so I really had to venture out into entrepreneurship, becoming a coach, releasing the layers of all the conditioning of who, to really find out who I was, who Dani was at the core. And now I help other people do that so they can live in freedom and bliss and inner peace and enlightenment.
Awesome.
Okay. So what lie did you have to unlearn to fully walk in your purpose?
Yes, this is such a good one. The lie was for me that I was too much, that I couldn't speak my truth. And I think this stems honestly, when I was a kid, I had so much energy. And I have a memory of my mom telling me, like, stop it, stop doing that, stop, like, go sit there. And of course, my mom's amazing, but those little moments set this, like, little seed in my mind that I can't speak my truth. I can't be my fullest self and I can't express myself the way I can or want to be expressed. And so that led to, high school being shy because I didn't want to speak my truth. I was too scared, which led to being fearful of how people were perceiving me, this like people pleasing energy. And so it was really about unraveling that. And being on podcasts like this one has helped support me in finding that authenticity in my voice, that vulnerability, and coming back to the essence of who I really am and knowing that I am not too much. My energy is just right. And I have a place in this world, and it's been a beautiful process.
So what moment in your life made you realize that you were called to break generational patterns?
I really think it was a sequence of patterns. It wasn't like one moment that I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to help my ancestral lineage. I'm going to do all these things, right? It was a sequence of just trying to find my purpose, find where I am supposed to be in this world, how I'm supposed to take up space. And I had this image or this vision, or this like deep knowing, I guess you can say, that my grandma came to me and was like, you're meant to create change in this planet. You're meant to help your lineage, your ancestors, your descendants, right? And not until recently, I've been wedding planning, that an aunt came to me and really went at it with me about forgetting to write her son on an invite, even though he's in all, the group chats and we talked and he's good. But it was that trauma, right? That it had nothing to do with me. Yes, I forgot to include his name, but it was all that not being seen, not being heard, not feeling good enough. And that came at me. And I was like, this is a validation and reaffirmation of what I'm doing to share love And I just went back at her with love and I was like, thank you so much for sharing your heart with me. And I'm so sorry that this is happening. And that's how you're changing generational trauma, right? Coming from a place of love, transmuting that energy into love and like really understanding and coming from that place authentically. But first, it really starts with yourself.
Okay. Can you describe a season where God's weight felt like a no? And what did you learn in the in between?
Yes, I feel like there's so many seasons, right? It's like you expand and then you contract. You expand and then you contract. And in those moments of contraction, it can feel very lonely, isolating, kind of like God has left you, and you're kind of like, what this everything's going wrong. What am I supposed to do? And what I've found is in those moments that those are the moments of growth. Those are the moments that you're being invited to really create spaciousness and stillness and really maybe integrate the things that you've learned, maybe move through and end cycles, of maybe, people pleasing, whatever that is, right? And really sit with the challenges and these experiences and lessons in life, right? You can't change them. You can change the way you view them. And that's what I really found in those moments where I felt like it was a no. And it's actually a yes. It's an invitation to open yourself up. And with that comes more expansion and success and growth.
How does it feel? Like, because when we talk about it, we make it seem like it's so easy, but come on,
Oh my gosh,
it ain't easy.
it's probably the most challenging. What it looks like to me is like 2 hours of journaling, crying, releasing
Mhm.
resistance, anger at myself, at the world, and then reflection back to connecting to God. Like, what is it? What am I meant to learn? Oh, whoa. Okay. Wow. I can move into this space. Wow, I am connected. I am loved. You are supporting me. And then like that realization of like, oof, okay, I'm there.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you balance being a powerhouse for others while still nurturing yourself, like being true to yourself?
I think a lot of self practice and self care is really necessary. I think when you feel like you're kind of at the top and you're like, oh, now I'm a master, I'm going to help people. I think
Mhm.
that's where the growth kind of stops. And I think growth is always forever, right? You can always expand and, you know, go like be a better person, expand the version of you. And so I already forgot your question, but so a lot of self-care, right?
Mhm.
Doing the things that really bring you joy and fulfillment. And that could be 1 to 3 things a day or a week, right? Like, oh, I really enjoyed this walk outside and it made me feel more connected to myself. So when I feel more connected to myself, I feel more connected to others and I can hold space more and support others, right? And so it really starts with yourself. And it's like that simple analogy where you
Mhm.
can't fill someone else's cup unless your cup is full. And I
Yeah.
really truly believe in that. And then how do you fill your cup? Well, you bring in the things that you really desire, the things that make you happy, and the things that really bring you fulfillment. And if you don't know what that is, then reflect upon it, right? Journal upon it. Like, what did I do last week that like I was really laughing and I loved that moment, right? Is it connection with friends? Is it getting coffee with friends? Like, what does that look like? And really don't feel guilty about it, right? Because that's oftentimes we bring judgment like, oh, I have to work, I have to work, I have to work because that's I need to provide, right? My productivity is measured by my worth or something, right? But no, it's
Right.
actually like bringing stillness and spaciousness and joy in and stillness into your life, which really amplifies your power, which can help support all your clients, more
Right.
fully.
Right. Okay. So was it like ever a moment where you just like wanted to quit, where you just like, this is not my dream, this is not the assignment that I had. I just want to be by myself. Was that ever a moment?
I feel like a lot of times in the first year or two of entrepreneurship, I just started my business about 2.5 years ago, the LLC, did all the things to leave my 9 to 5, right, and become an empowerment coach. And I didn't know how to run a business. I never took a business class. I didn't know anything about financials, having to create all the back end stuff,
Right.
a business license, all Calendly, booking, all those things, all the platforms, right? Even how this podcast is created, right? All the RSS and all those things, right? The getting a mic. And I had to learn everything on my own. YouTube was my best friend. And really, all those moments of like frustration, building my own website, I would just sit after 6 hours and not be able to move forward because I didn't know how to do it. And so, my advice to anyone is like ask for help, hire before you're ready. There's beautiful platforms like WeWork and I think I forget there's one that starts with an F, but like people who will support you, and I think it was so vital to help me because those parts that are uncomfortable, right? You're learning, you will learn over time and you will create mastery and with the experience that you have, but really asking for help and asking for support is going to be helping you really move into the part that you really enjoy of your business, right? That creativity, that part, the part that you are powerful in.
Okay. So, how has your definition of success changed as you've grown in faith and in purpose?
I absolutely love this question because in the past, success was how much money I made.
Uh,
And now it is having spaciousness within my day so that I can go on a walk, like for a 2 hour walk if I want, or go to the gym in the morning, or see friends, and not be stressed after work and rushing, right? My definition of success now is being joyful in every moment, in being fulfilled, in being in my purpose and knowing it so fully. And so I just know my energy type, like working 9 to 5 was so draining for me, especially working with people. And so I had to realize and shift my way of being, way of doing things. And I understand now that I do need a lot of stillness, a lot of spaciousness, a lot of naps, honestly. And that's successful to me because I feel more nourished. And then I could fill my clients' cups more and I could come from a place of sovereignty and power. And it feels so good to me.
okay. So in this season of your life, what does being a now woman mean to you?
Yeah, it means being the highest embodiment of who I am and being happy with who she is. And what does that mean, highest embodiment, right? And so back in 2022, and I first started really diving deep into reprogramming my subconscious and removing all the conditioning of what I thought I believed in, right? Because 95% of what we believe in is conditioned before the age of 7, right? And who I
Right.
was at 7 years old is not who I am now. And so it was really, those beliefs of like, I was too much, I wasn't good enough, I'm not powerful enough, other people can do this better than me, right? All these beliefs that I held within myself, I really got to the root of those. And I realized in 2022, I had this moment where I was at a friend's wedding in Mexico City and I was like wasted, blacked out. And my friend was like taking pictures of me. And I saw pictures later and I was like, ooh, I don't like who I am. I don't like this version of me who numbs out, who escapes. And that was a really big wake up call of like, who did I want to be? And so I made a list. I made a list early 2023 and I was like, this is who I want to be. And this is what I'm going to do to move, with it, seeing therapists, seeing coaches, seeing healers, and reconnecting my connection to God and the divine, and really, having more trust in myself, which was so empowering. And I can say now I am that version of me that I wanted to be back in 2022. And it is, like you said, the journey, right? It wasn't easy. There's those moments that you're like just on the floor crying because it's like, ooh, because releasing an identity of who you've held on to for the last 30 years is not easy. But
Mhm.
now being in this space and having support and opening yourself up to what can be is like, it's miracles. Like your mind can't like even comprehend what magic is available to you and what actually happens is so powerful.
So, let me tell you, every guest has a purpose and a reason. And I have found that as growing into this season two, there are more transparent and vulnerable moments. Stick with me.
Oh, I'm sticking.
Okay, so like the last couple ones I did, I'm boohooing, crying, and carrying on. And so this one, I'm going to try to keep it together. But in your answer, you also gave me resolve. And here's why. Maybe a month ago, I told my husband, and I'm a dreamer. And I was like, I had this crazy dream. I was in a house, and it was like I was fixing things in the house. And I saw this girl, and I don't know if I was in New Orleans, but outside was like a Mardi Gras type thing going on. And I saw this girl weaving in and out of the Mardi Gras, just having a blast, doing the most. She was doing the most. And so then she came back in the house and she was just all over the house. And then, so I tried to grab hold of her and I was like, no, you're doing the most. And when I grabbed her and I was like, you're doing too much, you need to calm down. And I pinned her against the wall and I looked at her, it was me.
Mm.
And so I was like, I'm going to kill you, like, because you need to get yourself together. But then my subconscious said, but if you kill her, no, it probably wasn't even my subconscious. It probably was the enemy. But it said to me, if you kill her, are you going to die? Like, are you going to die if you kill her? Me being logical, right? And so when I woke up off the dream, I told my husband about it, and he was just like, "No, that's crazy." But then when I went to church for a Wednesday night service and the pastor was preaching, it really made an impression on my heart. And so when we went back home, my husband's like, "I knew you were going to say something," because he recalled the dream as well. And I said, "That's a part of me that I got to let go because she's doing the most." Like she was having a blast and she was familiar. And I kept saying it. I saw her weaving in and out. I was like, I think I know her. Like, I so what you said, like, was in line. And so I was like, dang, man, I should have killed her in a dream. But I said, no, this is me being mindful and recognizing you are making a shift. And so there's a song we used to sing in the Spiritual Baptist Church, like, the things I used to do, I'll do them no more. The places I used to go, I'll go them no more. Like, it's a great change since I've been born. And so for me, hearing you say that, it just reemphasizes that I am shifting and going to that next level. And God really wants me to hone in on that. And in order for him to propel me and to serve him in elevation, I got to shed off some of that old, familiar, worldly Alicia. And so that is what a Now Woman Rising is, because we're being cognizant of what it was, and we're making a decision, because God gives you free will to say, I'm not doing that. So, okay,
Right.
that's like a long-winded way of saying, yes, I understand and I resonate with being a now woman. Can you share a time when obedience to God didn't make sense, but it changed everything?
Yeah. So, honestly, it was my coaching program. I was in a coaching program for a year and it was expensive. It was like $10,000. So that's not something I've ever spent ever in my life. I think I've spent like $100 on like a therapist before that, you know? But something in me, it's like that full body yes that you're just like, I can't say no to this. I can't say no. And I didn't know what magic was in that portal, but it was pretty much what happened was you're training to become a coach, right? But with that, you are also coached every week for a year. So you go to the depths, things that you had already healed and resolved were coming up. And I feel like that helped me really connect more deeply to myself. And so now I have these moments, right? These moments of like, I have this full body yes. And I just know that like, I need to follow this and I will be supported and I will be divinely led. And now I'm like learning to understand that connection and that feeling from God, right? Like that is like I don't like yes, I have a choice, right? But if I really want to be in alignment with my purpose and what I'm here on this, on earth right now to do, it's understanding that language within myself.
Amen to that. And so what legacy are you intentionally building for your family and your future generations?
Unconditional love. That's it. The frequency of love coming from the place of love. Earth right now has such a polarity, right, of chaos and fear. And it's us, right, that are connected, who have faith, who are able to bring in that unconditional love to share it with the world and change honestly the frequency of this planet. And that is my legacy.
That is awesome. That is wonderful. And I like how what you just said just brings everything that we just talked about into full circle. So she just had her full circle moment.
I just had a mommy moment. So we're just going through things, but thank you for sharing that. If you could sit down with your younger self, what would you tell her about the woman she's becoming?
That she's amazing and she's doing everything right, and that I have so much gratitude for her because she is doing enough. She is enough, and to keep working and keep trusting herself because she will become an amazing, amazing woman.
Absolutely, Dani. I do thank you for sharing yourself, being authentically you. And if folks are saying, oh, I like Dani, like, how can they get in touch with you? And what else do you have coming up? Like, what about your business that you want to share with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on I am DaniMargeaux.com, and I am an empowerment coach helping people connect more to themselves. I have classes and sessions that people can check out if they're interested. And ultimately, I think the goal, right, is to really be happy with yourself. And that's my intention, right? To bring more love, infuse more love, to transmute all the fear within ourselves, to really just find who we really are and be happy. Be happy.
Amen.
Mm.
Well, thank you, Dani. I'm happy.
I'm happy.
I done shared with the world that I'm working on myself. But who isn't, right? And that's why we're here, to let people know that you're not alone in navigating in your journey. And you may have those thoughts, you may have those experiences like Dani, myself, or Sakia, but we're here to say that we can work through it together. So just thank you so much for being a part of our mission to inspire and uplifting others, Dani.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to co-create the space with you.
Yeah, so how's it feel?
It was actually wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I'm ready for this.
So y'all will see more of Sakia. So she'll be on Now Women Rising, but she has her own podcast coming out.
Unpacking Mama's Bag will be coming soon.
Dani, are you going to be on it?
I'd love to. I'm not a mom yet, but maybe in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, we gonna get new mommies coming.
That's it. That's it.
You birthing babies already.
That's right.
Even know.
That's right.
Speaking into existence.
Amen. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys take care and tune in again.
Bye.
Woo! Yes, Lord. That was so good. Sis, if nobody told you today, let me be the first. You are chosen. You are covered. And you are called for such a time as this. Keep standing tall, walking bold, and staying surrendered. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with your sister circle, and leave a review so we can keep spreading the word for this kingdom vibe. Until next time, this is Alicia Hurt reminding you, you are not alone, and you were never meant to be. Now, woman, rise up and let's go.